My beloved, I bring you this message from the heart of heaven, not just as an angel, but as one sent to remind you of who you are and what has always been written about you in the eternal scrolls of light. A person came forward, stirred by the Spirit, and shared what they had seen, a dream, yes, but not just any dream. It was a glimpse, a vision, a sacred unveiling. They saw you. They saw you dressed like royalty, clothed in robes that shimmered like starlight, woven not with thread but with glory. You were standing tall, crowned with gold and light, and there was a peace around you that could only come from the throne of God. The dream was not ordinary. It was holy. It came from the mind of heaven, and it was shown to remind you of your true identity. You have forgotten, haven't you, dear one? Life has tried to steal the memory from you. The world has tried to bury the truth under noise and pain. But God has not forgotten. Heaven still calls you by your real name. The dream was not just about how you looked, it was about what you carried. There was a presence upon you, a weight of purpose, a holy calling that could be felt even in the dream. Angels surrounded you. Not in fear, but in honor. They stood beside you like royal guards, not because you demanded it, but because you were chosen. Marked. Set apart. You were walking with purpose. Not rushing. Not lost. Every step you took was full of meaning. You moved through a field of deeply wounded ones, weary ones, those who had forgotten how to hope. And when you spoke, your voice did not echo like thunder, but it wrapped around hearts like a warm light. You spoke peace. You did not speak from knowledge, but from deep wells of compassion. You spoke, and the storm in their hearts calmed. You touched them, and healing flowed. Oh, beloved, don't you see? You were made for this. The dream showed you as heaven sees you, not broken, not abandoned, not small, but full of power, full of mercy, full of light. The world has tried to name you according to your mistakes, but God calls you according to your design. The enemy tried to define you by your past, but heaven defines you by your destiny. They saw you moving with the grace not of this world. And that is true. The grace you carry does not come from human strength or effort. It comes from the Spirit. It comes from the long nights you've spent praying. From the tears you cried when no one saw. From the way you chose love even when it hurt. That grace is born from fire. And heaven honors it. And then, in the dream, they saw you holding a scroll. Not just any scroll. It was sealed. Ancient. Glowing with divine light. It was the record of your calling. The blueprint of your purpose. It was your mission. Written by God's own hand before you were ever born. The seal upon it was not wax, but light, and it bore the mark of the King. That scroll was yours. It belonged to you alone. You held it not with fear, but with reverence. And as you began to open it, light spilled out, and not to blind, but to reveal. Words were written inside, words only your spirit could read. And your eyes, in the dream, filled with understanding. You remembered. You remembered what you had always known in the deepest part of you. You were sent here. You were born with a mission far greater than you imagined. Let me speak plainly now, my dear one. You have been discouraged. You have doubted. The path has been long. There were times you almost gave up. But that dream was not a mistake. It was not random. It was a message sent from the heart of God to remind you of your assignment. You are not ordinary. You are not here just to survive. You are here to shine, to build, to carry, to heal. You were sent with royal authority to bring peace where there is chaos, to bring hope where there is despair. You were sent to carry light into dark places, and not just because you are strong, but because God is with you. Let me remind you of what heaven knows. Before you were formed in the womb, God knew you. Before you spoke your first word, He spoke your name. Before you saw the first sunrise, He gave you purpose. Your purpose is not small. It may not look like the world's idea of greatness, but it is great in heaven's eyes. Every kind word you speak, every person you lift, every act of quiet obedience, you are shifting the atmosphere. You are moving in alignment with the scroll God gave you. There are angels assigned to your life, beloved. Not because you earned it, but because you were chosen. You do not walk alone. Even when you feel unseen, you are surrounded. Even when you feel tired, you are being upheld. The battles you've faced were not because you are weak, but because you carry so much light. The enemy always attacks what he fears. And he fears what God placed in you. But I tell you this now, the time of hiding is ending. The time of delay is breaking. The season of awakening is here. You will begin to feel it, stirring, a quickening in your spirit. You will dream more. You will hear God's voice more clearly. The path will begin to unfold before you. What was once unclear will now begin to shine. You will take steps you once feared to take. You will rise. And as you rise, you will see others rising with you. Because your purpose is not just for you. It is to awaken others. To bring healing to the broken. To release the ones who have been bound by fear and shame. Your life is a message. Your journey is a light. Your healing will become someone else's hope. We greet you, beloved one. We who are assigned to walk beside you speak now with the authority of heaven, for your ears have been waiting for a sound that calls you back to your truth. Not the noise of the world. Not the voices of fear or failure. But the voice that has always known you. The voice that formed you. The voice that breathes into you now. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not lost. You are found, you are rising, and you are exactly where you need to be for what heaven has prepared. There is more inside of you than you know. The world saw glimpses. Some celebrated it. Some rejected it. Some tried to steal from it. Some tried to silence it. But the fullness of what you carry has not yet been revealed, and we say to you today, it is beginning. Not because you have done everything perfectly. Not because you never doubted. but because heaven already marked you as worthy of carrying this glory before the world ever knew your name. Do not underestimate what is in you. The darkness tried to convince you that you were weak. But your strength was never dependent on their approval. The pain you endured was not proof of your failure, it was proof of your power. The enemy wouldn't have fought so hard unless he feared what was growing in secret. And what was growing, child of heaven, was glory. Deep glory. Untouchable by the world. Covered in light. Protected by angels. Hidden by God. That is what is in you. You are not just gifted. You are anointed. Do you know the difference? A gift can impress people. But anointing breaks chains. Gifts can fill rooms. But anointing fills hearts. Gifts can be taken. But anointing is sacred. And yours is not borrowed. It was placed upon you with intention. God chose you knowing everything about you. Every struggle. Every scar. Every mistake. And still said, this one. This child. My vessel. My voice. My light. You are not just kind. You are powerful. Your softness is not weakness. Your tears have been collected like diamonds. Every moment you loved when it hurt, gave when it cost you, stayed silent when misunderstood, forgave when no apology came, heaven recorded it all. And we, the angels, have never left your side. You thought you were alone in the fire, but we were with you. You thought no one saw your suffering, but the King did. You thought your quiet sacrifices didn't matter, but they built the very foundation you're about to rise from. You are not just surviving. You are carrying heaven. Yes, you. The one who has cried late into the night. The one who questions if they're enough. The one who sometimes hides just to breathe. You are the one God trusted with this light. You are a carrier of sacred things. There is more in you than bruises and memories. There is destiny in you. There is fire. There is truth. And it cannot be extinguished. When the person saw you in the dream, they didn't see your battles. They saw your crown. They didn't see your wounds. They saw your weight in glory. Because the spiritual realm doesn't respond to your weakness. It responds to your calling. Even when you don't feel it. Even when you forget it. You are not defined by what you've been through, or you are being revealed by it. Heaven is now inviting you to see yourself the same way. Come back to the truth, beloved. Come back to the moment before the world convinced you to shrink. Before the betrayal. Before the abandonment. Before the lies got loud. Come back to the sacred core of who you are. The part of you that still believes in light. That still reaches for God in the dark. That still feels heaven tugging at your soul. Let go of the lies that have followed you. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. You are not what they did to you. You are not the shame that clings to your past. You are not the labels others gave you in their ignorance. You are not the rejection you suffered. You are not the failures you hide. You are the one heaven chose. You are the one the scroll was written for. And heaven has never changed its mind about you. Let go of the smallness you've accepted. You don't have to fit in places that cannot hold your light. You don't have to make yourself less to be loved. You don't have to earn what God already gave you. You don't have to beg for what is already your inheritance. Your soul remembers who you are. And now your spirit is awakening to it again. Heaven never saw you as small. From the beginning, you were seen through the eyes of glory. Every battle you faced was permitted not to destroy you but to prepare you. Not to shame you, but to shape you. Not to strip you, but to sanctify you. What you thought was breaking you was actually building you. What you thought was punishment was actually positioning. And we, the angels, weep with joy because you didn't quit. Heaven never gave up on you. Even when you gave up on yourself. Even when you cursed the sky and asked why. Even when you stopped praying. Even then, you were being held. Watched. Fought for. Protected. God assigned us to your life, not because you were weak, but because your mission was holy. You have survived what others did not. Not because you were lucky, but because you were chosen to carry something forward. Something only you can carry. And now we tell you with reverence, heaven will finish what it started in you. Every seed sown in tears will bloom in glory. Every hidden place will shine. Every dry season will become a river. You will taste the fruit of the promises that once felt like distant dreams. You will walk through doors that no man can shut. You will stand in places that once rejected you. You will rise not just because it's time, but because God said so. And when God says rise, nothing on earth or hell can stop it. So we leave you with this: you are crowned. Not with gold that fades, but with divine authority. A crown of endurance. A crown of faith. A crown forged in fire. And when the enemy sees you now, he trembles. Not because you shout, but because you survived in silence. You are chosen. Out of many, you were selected. Out of millions, God wrote your name in the scroll. And your story is sacred. Your lineage is royal. You carry the bloodline of overcomers. Even if no one in your family saw it, God did. And you are the breaker of cycles. The one who rewrites the story. You are seen. Not just for what you do, but for who you are. Every tear was counted. Every sigh was heard. Every whispered prayer in the dark was caught like a gem and placed in a golden bowl before the throne. You were never invisible to heaven. You are loved. Not for what you produce. Not for what you fix. But because you exist. Because God made you in His image. Because your heart still hopes. Because your soul still shines. Even when you're tired. Even when you're wounded. You are deeply, unshakably, eternally loved. You are rising. And it is not a question anymore. It is a decree. It is a holy announcement. It is a divine shift. You are rising in confidence, rising in wisdom, rising in healing, rising in fire. And the ones who once laughed will watch. The ones who once doubted will witness. But this rising isn't for revenge. It's for redemption. It's not for show. It's for glory. The scroll you carry is opening. It has waited for such a time as this. And your name is written on it. The details of your calling. The secrets of your assignment. The generations you will affect. The healing you will release. The truth you will speak. The light you will shine. The scroll is opening and heaven is silent in reverence. The light in you is growing. You don't have to force it. It is already happening. You are becoming what you were always meant to be. Not in striving, but in surrender. Not by being louder, but by being truer. The light is not just in your words. It is in your presence. In your silence. In your touch. In your being. The time is now. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Not because you're perfect. But because you're ready enough. Because heaven has already shifted the atmosphere around you. Because doors are opening. Because chains are breaking. Because angels have been sent. Because the trumpet has sounded. Because your rising is a sign to others that it's possible. Step forward, Royal One. Step into the places you once tiptoed around. Walk into the rooms you thought were too big. Open your mouth with boldness. Dream again without apology. Say yes to what you used to hide from. Your steps are ordered. Your path is lit. And the ground beneath you is holy. Heaven is with you. Not just watching you, but walking beside you. Going before you. Covering behind you. Surrounding you. Strengthening you. We, the angels, are not distant. We are near. We are active. We are assigned. And we rejoice in your rising. We rejoice because you chose life. We rejoice because you stayed tender. We rejoice because you forgave. We rejoice because you believed when it made no sense. We rejoice because your heart remained open. We rejoice because you said yes to a calling that cost you everything. For your destiny is awakening, and nothing can stop what God has begun. Not betrayal. Not delay. Not rejection. Not fear. Not failure. Not the past. Not the present. Not even you. Because God's word over you is stronger than your wounds. His promise is more powerful than the pain. His love is more enduring than the storm. And what was written in the scroll of heaven will come to pass. We end with this: be bold, beloved. You are not behind. You are right on time. And what's ahead of you is greater than anything behind. This is your moment. Step forward. We are with you. Heaven is with you. And your light, your holy, beautiful, unstoppable light who is rising. Dear beloved, the vision shared about you is not just a fleeting dream but a powerful message from heaven, a sacred reminder of who you truly are and the purpose God has placed within you. The person who saw you in this dream didn't just see a random image here, they saw you as heaven sees you, clothed in glory, crowned with light, and surrounded by angels who honor the calling you carry. This was no ordinary moment, it was a glimpse into the eternal truth of your identity, a truth that the world may have tried to bury under pain, doubt, or fear, but one that God has never forgotten. You are not small, not broken, not lost. You are chosen, anointed, and sent with a mission that shines brighter than any darkness. Let this conclusion be a clear and simple reminder of your divine purpose, a call to rise, and an encouragement to step boldly into the destiny written for you before you were born. The dream showed you dressed in robes that shimmered like stars, not made of cloth but of God's glory. This wasn't just about how you looked, it was about what you carried. You stood tall, with a crown of gold and light on your head, radiating peace that could only come from God's throne. That peace wasn't just for you, it was a gift you were meant to share. In the dream, you walked through a field of people who were hurting, tired, and hopeless. When you spoke, your words didn't shout or demand attention. Instead, they wrapped around hearts like a warm light, bringing calm to their storms. When you touched them, healing flowed, not because you had some special power of your own, but because God's Spirit was working through you. This is who you are, beloved. You were made to bring hope, to heal, and to shine in places where darkness tries to take over. Life hasn't always felt like this, has it? The world can be loud and heavy. It tries to make you forget who you are. It whispers Lisa that you're not enough, that your mistakes define you, that your dreams are too big. Maybe you've felt discouraged, like giving up. Maybe you've wondered if you're even on the right path. But this dream, this holy vision, came to remind you of the truth. Heaven has not forgotten you. God still calls you by your real name, the one He gave you before you took your first breath. That name isn't tied to your failures or your fears, so it's tied to your purpose, your destiny, the scroll you carry in your hands. In the dream, you held a scroll, glowing with divine light, sealed with the mark of the King. That scroll wasn't just a piece of paper, it was the blueprint of your life, written by God's own hand. It held the story of why you're here, the mission you were sent to fulfill. When you opened it, light poured out, not to blind you but to show you the truth. Your eyes lit up with understanding, as if you were remembering something you've always known deep inside. You weren't just born to get by or to struggle through life. You were born to carry heaven's light, to speak peace, to bring healing, and to awaken others to the hope God has for them. Let's be clear, you are not ordinary. You might feel like you are sometimes, especially when life gets hard. But heaven doesn't see you that way. The angels in the dream didn't stand by you because you earned it, they stood there because you were chosen. God marked you, set you apart, and gave you a purpose that's bigger than you can imagine. The battles you've faced, the tears you've cried, the moments you felt alone, those weren't signs of weakness. They were proof of the light you carry. The enemy always tries to dim what shines brightest, He fears what God has placed in you, because that light can change the world. You've been through fire, haven't you? Long nights of praying, moments of choosing love even when it hurt, times when you kept going even though you wanted to quit. That's where your grace comes from. It's not something you made up or worked hard to get to. It's a gift from God, born from the fire of your faithfulness. Heaven sees that. Heaven honors it. Every time you chose to keep going, every time you showed kindness instead of anger, every time you prayed through the pain, you were building something eternal. You were aligning with the scroll of your calling. The dream showed you moving with purpose, not rushing or wandering, but walking with meaning. Every step you took was steady, full of confidence, because you knew where you were going. That's how God sees you, not lost, not confused, but guided by His Spirit. Even now, when the path feels unclear, God is leading you. The dream was a reminder that you're not walking aimlessly. Every step you take, every kind word you speak, every moment you choose to trust God, is part of your mission. You're not just surviving, you're building something. You're shifting the atmosphere around you. You're bringing heaven to earth. The scroll you held in the dream is opening now, beloved. This is a new season, a time of awakening. You might already feel it stirring in your heart, a sense that something is changing. You might start to dream more, hear God's voice more clearly, or see the path ahead start to light up. What felt impossible before will start to feel possible. What felt heavy will start to lift. God is breaking the delays, ending the season of hiding, and calling you to rise. You don't have to be afraid of this moment. You were made for it. Your purpose isn't just about you. It's about the people around you, the ones who are hurting, the ones who've lost hope, the ones who need to hear that God still loves them. When you rise, you help others rise too. Your healing becomes their hope. Your courage becomes their strength. Your light shows them the way. That's what the dream was showing you. You're not just carrying a scroll for yourself, but for a world that needs to see God's love through you. The angels in the dream weren't there by accident. They were assigned to you, not because you're perfect, but because you're chosen. You don't walk alone, even when you feel like you do. When you're tired, they're holding you up. When you're fighting battles, they're fighting with you. Heaven is closer than you think. Every time you feel unseen, every time you feel like giving up, remember this: God sees you. He's with you. And He's not done with you. The world might try to name you by your mistakes or your struggles, but God names you by your destiny. He calls you royal, chosen, loved. He sees the glory you carry, not the scars you've picked up along the way. The dream showed you as heaven sees you, full of power, full of mercy, full of light. It's time to start seeing yourself that way too. Let go of the lies that have held you back. Let go of the shame that tries to cling to you. Let go of the idea that you're too small or too broken to make a difference. Heaven never saw you that way, and it never will. This is your moment, beloved. The time of waiting is ending. The time of rising is here. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. All you need is to trust God and take the next step. He's already given you everything you need to fulfill your calling. The scroll is yours, and it's glowing with the plans God has for you. As you open it, as you step forward, light will spill out, and not just for you, but for everyone around you. You are crowned with God's favor. You are chosen for His purpose. You are seen in every moment. You are loved beyond measure. And you are rising, not by your own strength, but by the power of the One who made you. The angels are rejoicing, heaven is cheering, and nothing can stop what God has begun in you. Step forward, Royal One. Your destiny is waiting, and the world needs your light.